When you were in kindergarten, you and King May were happily eating ice cream. While you were eating your own, your eyes were fixed on the ice cream in King May's hand. Finally, you quietly approached and took a bite of King May's ice cream. King May was full of disgust. You drool, I won't eat it. You were furious on the spot. She actually despised you. In an impulse, you held her little face and smacked it hard several times, not even sparing her lips, and then asked proudly, "Okay, now there is my saliva everywhere. Can you eat it?" Since then, King May has always been very frugal with words to others. "I won't do it. I won't. I can't." But she is obedient to you, like a little follower, listening to your orders. However, after graduating from junior high school, you were forced to study abroad. Since then, without the constraints of you, the little bully, King May simply let herself go and became the big sister with 1 billion younger brothers in the whole school. Today is your first day back home. As soon as you walked out of the airport with your luggage, you were picked up by your parents. But they took you directly to King May's house without even looking at you and left you and your luggage behind. Alas, in their hearts, they have long regarded King May as their daughter-in-law. You were already so tired that you almost fell down, kicking and yelling at the door of King May's house. "Guru Owen, where have you been fooling around again?" But there was no response from inside the door. You looked at the time. It was almost 12 o'clock in the evening. This guy must be out having fun again. You found her number and called her. You haven't contacted each other for a long time, and you don't know if she can still recognize your voice. The phone rang for a long time, and it was connected just when the music was about to end. You immediately yelled angrily, "Guru Owen, where have you been fooling around again? I'm back home. I'm at your doorstep now. Come back and open the door for me." But the voice from the other end was a charming girl's. "You're looking for Sister Ruo, and she's busy now. Call me back later." After that, she hung up the phone. You were stunned, and the anger in your heart suddenly rose. The person who just answered the phone was obviously her little follower, and even the little follower dared to treat you like this. On the other side, in the bar box, Guru Owen was holding a glass of wine in her hand. Her eyes were a little blurred. A handsome man sat next to her and called intimately, "Ruoan, are you drunk?" Guru Owen shook her head, but she was indeed a little drunk, her head slightly leaning on the sofa. Karen stared at her beautiful profile, infatuated lie, and was completely obsessed. A woman as perfect as Ruo and is really rare in the world. Looking at her sexy red lips, Karen's heart was moved, and he couldn't help but slowly approached and wanted to kiss her. "Ruo," Karen whispered softly. This magnetic voice should be able to soften the hearts of most women, but it had no effect on Guru Owen. Just when he was about to kiss her lips, Guru Owen suddenly frowned slightly, opened her eyes suddenly, and met his gaze with her cold eyes. The next second, she flashed displeasure in her eyes and pushed him away mercilessly. "Stay away from me." Guru Owen weakly supported her forehead with her hands, but the voice she spoke was still full of aura. Theron stretched out his hands in annoyance. "Ruoan, you are drunk. I'll help you go back." Guru Owen searched for something in her bag, but couldn't find it. She shouted in a sharp tone, "Where is my phone?" The follower sitting not far away hurried over and handed over the phone with both hands. "Sister Han, your phone is here." The follower was hesitating whether to tell Guru Owen about the call he had just received, when the phone rang again. Guru Owen looked at the strange number with no remarks on it, closed her eyes and answered, "Hello?" She frowned, and didn't recognize whose voice it was for a while. She was in a bad mood. Except for her family, no one dared to shout her name like this. "Who is it?" she asked unhappily. Hearing this, you paused and asked, "Are you Guru Owen?" Guru Owen thought this person was simply inexplicable. She called her and asked if it was her real self. "You are really boring. I'm hanging up." You hurriedly stopped her. Wait. Where are you now? I'll come to find you. Even if you were tired, you could still hear the drunkenness in her voice. It was obvious that this guy ran out to fool around and drank too much. If it were in the past, Guru and would definitely hang up the phone directly. I don't know if this voice made her feel familiar, but she subconsciously said the location. In the 303 box of Zhao Nguyen bar. Okay, I'll go there now, wait for me. After saying that, you hung up the phone. Guru and looked at the number on the screen of her mobile phone. Although her head was filled with alcohol, she was not confused. She kept muttering in her heart, "Who is this? There should be no man in the world who dares to order me like this. It seems that there's someone." Just when she was about to remember who it was, Karen next to her came over again and interrupted her with a magnetic voice. "Ruoan, the person calling seems to be a boy. Is he your new boyfriend?" Ruoan was too lazy to pay attention to this man and leaned back on the sofa. Her follower saw that she was drunk and hurried out. After a while, he brought the hangover tea and respectfully held it in front of her. "Sister Ruoan, this is hangover tea." Ruoan reached out to take it, but Karen snatched it away. "Ruoan, let me feed you." Ruoan leaned lazily on the sofa and didn't want to move, so she let Karen serve her. She was used to being served by others. On the other side, after you got the address, you left your luggage at the security office on the first floor and took a taxi to the Zhao Nguyen bar. The bar is quite big. And you searched for a long time before you found the 303 room. As soon as you opened the door, you shouted angrily, "Guru-an!" Everyone in the room looked over at you instantly. Guru-an's follower greeted you with a smile. "You're looking for Sister Ruoan? She went to the bathroom and will be back soon." Karen looked at you with an unhappy face. "Don't tell me that you're Ruoan's new boyfriend. It turns out that Ruoan umped me, because she fell in love with you. Except for your pale face, I don't think you are better than me in any way." As soon as you said this, the girls present couldn't help but laugh out loud. In fact, anyone with a discerning eye can see that you are much more handsome than Karen. But he is thick-skinned and thinks that he is extremely handsome because he is the school hunk of to middle school. He doesn't think that if he hadn't been dating Guru-an, how could he be elected as the new school hunk? Your face fell suddenly. You hate it most when people say that you have a pale face. No one dares to say that in the United States, after all, everyone there has a pale face. You looked at Karen and said, "Can you shut up? I'm not here to find you. What are you yelling about?" Karen looked at you unhappily. "Who are you? How dare you yell at me like that?" He was already angry. Guru-an broke up with him after only dating for a week, and the reason was very casual. A few days later, it was rumored that she had a new boyfriend who was said to be super handsome. He had to regain his momentum no matter what. But you didn't want to talk nonsense with the person in front of you. And now, you just wanted to find Guru-an. You looked at the follower and asked, "Where is the women's restroom? Take me there." The follower was shocked and had a question mark on his face. "Are you going to the women's restroom?" You glared at him impatiently. "Didn't you say that Guru-an went to the restroom? If I don't go to the women's restroom, am I going to the men's restroom to find her?" Karen was so angry that he was about to explode. This man actually dared to ignore him, the school hunk of to middle school. Especially when he thought about you being Ruoan's new boyfriend, he got angrier and angrier, and started to talk nonstop. "Why are you ignoring me? You're looking at me? And I'm talking to you. Hey, did you hear me?" Karen got angry when he didn't get a response, and stretched out his hand to push you. Because the light was dim, you were caught off guard and were pushed by him. Before you fell, you stretched out your hand to grab Karen's trouser leg and pulled his trousers down. Karen's face flushed red, and he quickly pulled up his trousers. But the embarrassing scene just now had been seen by everyone, and some people couldn't help laughing. Karen couldn't hold it in any longer and yelled, "Little white face, I won't let you go." You glanced at him calmly as if to say, "Come if you can." Just then, the door of the box was pushed open, and a cold female voice rang out. What happened? When you heard this familiar voice, you turned around and looked coldly at the person who came in, and said, Guru-o-en? Guru-o, and looked at the man in front of her carefully for a moment, and then said in surprise, Zhang Yichen, why are you here? You chuckled twice and walked towards her. Not bad, I thought you forgot about me. You walked in front of her, raised your hand and slapped her shoulder. The people watching nearby gasped when they saw this. This man actually dared to hit Guru-o, and narrowed her beautiful eyes and slightly turned sideways to avoid the slap. What's the matter? You're so angry just after coming back. Everyone was even more shocked. Not only was Guru-o and not angry, but her voice was actually doting. She said angrily, do you know how many things I have encountered in order to come back to find you? Guru-o reached out and tittied the dust on you. Zhang Yichen, you went abroad to move bricks. Why are you covered in dust? You pouted. This is all thanks to you. Guru-o blinked blankly. What does it have to do with me? I just found out that you're back okay. You glanced at Kara next to you. Your boyfriend is amazing. He just came in to find you and he made trouble for me. Guru-o and you have known each other since you were wearing diapers. How could she not understand what you meant? Her eyes suddenly became sharp, looking at Kara and asked coldly, Kara, who gave you the courage? How dare you touch him? Kara was still aggressive before, but now he is completely like a wilted eggplant. Especially Guru-o's current look. Let him know that he is going to be in trouble. Guru-o, listen to my explanation. Not what he said. It's him. His attitude is too arrogant. Also, why did he call you by your full name? He was disrespectful, so I was angry. Karen tried hard to think of your crime. Guru-o raised the corner of her mouth, and her slender jade hand held your arm, and said to Karen, why did he? Just because I allowed him, he can call me whatever he wants. Why do you have to care? Karen was so angry that his face turned blue and white. He had a crush on Guru, and since junior high school, and had been paying attention to her for the past few years. He had never heard that she liked any man, but the man in front of him was an exception. How could he swallow this breath? Ruo-an, I really didn't know. I didn't know that he had such a good relationship with you. Guru-o hated the aggrieved look of boys the most, and turned her face away impatiently. You also felt annoyed, but you also felt that the other party was very smart and must know Guru-o very well, so he knew how to show weakness at this time. You said in a dissatisfied tone, Guru-o, you can do it yourself. Even if you don't say it, Guru-o, and will not let you get angry like this. And this is still on her territory. She looked at Karen coldly. Tell me how I should deal with you. Karen felt a chill down his spine at this look. He took a deep breath, raised his hand and slapped himself. I'm sorry, it's my fault. Shouldn't have done it without asking clearly. Then, tears came out of his eyes, and he slapped himself twice while crying. It seemed that his apology was very sincere. You listened to the two papa sounds, thought about it and said, okay, no need to call. Then you turned to look at Guru-o and said, let's go, follow me back. Guru-o said to the people in the box, if you want to play, continue playing. If you don't want to play, just go your own way. I'll leave first. By the way, where's my phone? The follower quickly handed over the phone with both hands. Sister Ruo-an, your phone is here. You thought of the frustration of calling her before, and a wave of anger surged up. Guru Owen, I called you before but you didn't recognize my voice, and asked me to take a car to find you. I ran out of money and wanted to call for help but you didn't answer. If you don't need your phone, just give it to me. As you said that, you reached out to grab it. Guru and was very agile. She dodged your grab and put her phone into her bag. She took your arm and walked out. Oh, it's so noisy in the box. It's normal, I can't hear your voice. What's the matter with you? Why did you suddenly return to China? Is there something important that you want to talk to me about so late? Guru Owen was full of questions. Even if you returned to China during the Chinese New Year, you would not come to her so enthusiastically. She smiled a little ambiguously. Yi-chan, you didn't suddenly find that you like me, did you? You came to me so anxiously and had a quarrel with Karen. Do you want to confess to me? You smiled at her and reached out to pinch the flesh on her waist. It was soft and smooth and felt good. Guru and gritted her teeth in pain. You big bad guy, you can't even make a joke. You've been abroad for a few years and you've lost your sense of humor. You also snorted. I'm in a bad mood tonight. You're asking for it by joking with me when I'm in a bad mood. After walking out of the bar, Guru and still held your arm and asked, Tell me, what do you want to talk to me about? I want you to open the door, but I don't have your key. The most important thing is that you don't need a key to open the door at home, so I can only ask you in person. Guru and expressed confusion. My mom and others are at home. You can make a phone call and someone will open the door for you. And they will line up to greet you. We grew up together, and my home is basically your second home. Guru and suddenly realized that something was wrong, and her beautiful eyes narrowed. Which home are you referring to? It can't be the apartment where I live now, right? You nodded yes, otherwise why would I look for you? You're stupid. You looked at her like an idiot, and this question was obviously redundant. Why go to Guru's house to find her? It's not like you can't find the way. Guru and paused and asked in confusion. Why are you coming to my apartment? It's so late. Even if you want to find a place to stay, you can just go to my mom. Why are you looking for me? Although she had vaguely sensed that something was wrong, she didn't want to confirm this feeling and would rather believe that her sixth sense was wrong. You looked at her, and the corners of your mouth couldn't help but curl up. It seems that you don't know that you have been calculated by your mother. Don't worry, I'm also a victim. I can understand your feelings. Guru, Owen frowned depressedly. What the hell? What's going on? Guru and took you back to the luxury apartment. She entered the door by fingerprint. He followed and looked at the security system on the door and said, By the way, you record my fingerprints so that it will be convenient for me to open the door. Guru and didn't expect you to make this request. She crossed her arms and stared at you. Why should you be able to come and go freely in the future? You also crossed your arms because from today on I live here. If you don't record it for me, how can I go in and out? Do you want to be my personal key? Guru frowned. Who asked you to live here in the future? Did you get my permission? This is my private territory. Although we grew up together, it doesn't mean that you are welcome to invade my private space. You spread your hands, you think I want to. But it's your mother who asked me to live here. Guru and finally realized that something was wrong and remembered what she hadn't finished saying on the way. What do you mean when you said that my mother had plotted against me? Is it related to this? You nodded and announced to her, because you and I are going to get engaged soon. They let us live together to cultivate our relationship first. Guru and suspected that she had heard it wrong, and her eyes widened instantly. What did you say? You and I are engaged? What the hell is this? Anyway, this is what happened. You should go back and ask for the specific reason yourself. I'm too lazy to explain. I'm very sleepy now. I'm going to take a shower and go to bed. But after saying that, you yawned, waved to her, and dragged your luggage to the room. Hey, explain it to me clearly. With a pop, the door closed in front of Guru Ann, almost hitting her proud nose. She knocked on the door and shouted, John Helsinki, come out. After a while you came out with a change of clothes in your hand, leaned against the door frame, looked at her and said, I'm really sleepy now. Let's talk about it tomorrow, okay? Then you walked past her and went to the bathroom. Guru Owen had no choice but to give up. The next day, you had a good sleep and woke up when you heard a noise outside. You lifted the curtain, got out of bed, and opened the door to see Guru Owen. Guru Owen, I'm hungry. Is breakfast ready? Guru Owen poured a glass of water in the kitchen and replied lazily, no breakfast, I don't cook here. Go out and buy it if you want. You frowned a depressed lie. No breakfast, what should I do? I'm so hungry, I'm starving. Guru Owen watched your childish performance. There are all kinds of drinks and milk in the refrigerator, and there are biscuits and bread in the cabinet. You can do whatever you want. Eat something, and then I will call home and let my mother pick you up. You hurriedly rolled off the sofa, ran to the refrigerator and said, I'm not going back. Didn't I tell you last night that from today on, I will live with you? You are completely unrestrained, as casual as at home. Take out the milk and drink it. You shrugged. If you don't agree, then go back and tell your parents and your grandfather. I can't make the decision. She frowned. And the grandfather? Your mother said that you should go back on the weekend and he will explain everything clearly. Sure enough, as long as it was the grandfather's order, Guru Owen had to obey it. She scratched her head irritably. No need for the weekend. I will go back with you tonight to explain it clearly. It's up to you, I don't care. You spread your hands, threw the finished milk into the trash can, washed your hands and said to her, you are going to school, right? Wait for me, I'll brush my teeth and wash my face. It will be quick. Guru Owen looked at you in confusion. You are going to school with me? Yes, because from today on, I will transfer to your school. He leaned in the door frame of the bathroom and said to her with a smile, Guru, and looked like she was going crazy. If this man went to her school, wouldn't her image as a big sister be lost? But you ignored her and went straight into the bathroom. You could still hear your humming in the living room. After you washed up, changed your clothes, and finally went out. It was less than 10 minutes. Dark at H.A. High School. Because it was an aristocratic school, the building area was very large, and you could see the gorgeous school gate from a distance. A few hundred meters away, you shouted in the car, stop, 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 just stop here, I'll get off here. Guru Owen asked the driver to stop the car and asked in confusion, the school hasn't arrived yet. Why are you getting off here? But you had already got off the car with your school bag on your back, and then smiled at her. I won't go to school with you, otherwise I will definitely attract a lot of attention. I still like to keep a low profile, so I'll go first. Bye, I'll buy some breakfast on the way, whatever you want. Guru Owen also looked at your back coldly as you left. How many boys wanted to ride in the same car with her? But this person despised her instead. After watching Guru Owen's car drive away, you looked around and saw a cake shop. You chose your favorite matcha cake and bought a cup of soy milk. Give me a piece of this. You pointed to the last piece of matcha cake and said. The waiter came over, took out the cake, and packed it in a small box. You reached out to take it, but the waiter looked at you apologetically. Sorry, this last one has been bought. Pick something else. You were a little depressed. Who bought it? It was obviously you who saw it first. The waiter was also very embarrassed. He pointed to a girl standing at the cashier and said, It was that girl. She has already paid, so I'm really sorry. Our chocolate cake and strawberry cake are also very popular. Do you want to try it? No. You shook your head and refused, walked over to the girl and gently patted her shoulder. Hello, can you give me the matcha cake? You are a little paranoid, and you don't want to change something you like. Unexpectedly, the girl turned her head and turned out to be a big beauty. She looked fresh and refined. At first glance, she was a lady from a noble family, and she was also the type you like. Hello, what can I do for you? Su Jing-chun looked at you and said, her voice is so nice. It is definitely the favorite voice of all boys. Just listening to it can make your heart beat faster, and you are a voice control, so you can't help but get a little excited, especially the girl in front of you, who has such a good temperament. This matcha cake is the last one. Can you give it to me? You showed your signature smile. If Guru Oan stood here and saw you like this, she would definitely roll her eyes. But Su Jing-chun just replied lightly, I'm sorry, this is bought for someone else, so I can't give it to you. You immediately deflated, and you were sure that she must have bought it for her boyfriend. It's rare to see a girl who is so considerate to her boyfriend and helps buy breakfast. Okay, then I won't force it. I'll buy something else. Thinking that beautiful women all have boyfriends, your mood became lower and you walked out dragging your steps. Su Jing-chun's eyes followed you, and she probably felt a little guilty, so she couldn't help but say, I heard that their chestnut cake is not bad, you can try it. When you heard her say that, you felt that she was gentle and considerate. Okay, then I'll try it. He turned around and smiled at her, ordered a chestnut cake from the clerk, packed it in his hand, and then caught up with her in 2 or 3 steps. Although she has a boyfriend, you just transferred to this school, and it's not bad to meet a top student. So you shamelessly approached her. Hello. You smiled cheerfully, and you smiled tearfully, and your smile was as bright as the sun. Are you also a student of Heilan? I'm a freshman who transferred here today. Su Jing-chun glanced at you. Facing such a sunny and cheerful smile, it would be difficult for anyone to refuse. Yes, she replied lightly and continued to walk forward. What grade are you in? Senior year. She seemed a little regretful and pouted. You smiled and replied, Actually, I should be considered a sophomore. Su Jing-chun looked at you in confusion. Don't you even know what grade you are in? You scratched your head awkwardly. Actually, I transferred back from the United States. I was a freshman in the United States, but the elders thought I was very smart, so they should arrange for me to be a sophomore. Because I know that Guru Owen is a sophomore, Guru Owen's mother should arrange for me to be in the same class with her in order for us to cultivate our relationship. Although I'm a freshman in the United States, I think I can handle my studies in China without any problem. Su Jing-chun looked at your confident look and couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh. The two of them walked to the school gate while talking. When they were about to walk in together, the security guard stopped you. You can't go in. It's almost time for class. Outsiders are not allowed to enter the school. You opened your eyes wide and said to the security guard at the door, I am a student here. I just transferred here today. But no matter how you explained, the other party just refused to let you go. Instead, the more he looked at you, the more suspicious he felt. When you were thinking about whether to move out of Guru Oan, you heard Su Jing-chun beside you say, he did transfer here today, so he doesn't have a student ID yet. He is going to report to the school office now. I can prove it for him. The security guard recognized her and nodded. I recognize you. You are Su Jing-chun. Okay, for your sake, I will let him in. Su Jing-chun nodded politely and said, Thank you. But you are still unhappy. Although you are very grateful to Su Jing-chun for helping you, the security guard's attitude is a bit uncomfortable. He still looks at you, as if he is guarding against thieves. They think you are sunny and handsome, and it is impossible for you to be suspected like this. Thank you, but I need to communicate more. You said to Su Jing-chun, then took out your mobile phone and called Guru O-N. Guru O-N's lazy voice sounded. What's the matter? You couldn't help but get a little angry and said, I was stopped by the security guard. He wouldn't let me in. He didn't believe that I was a transfer student. Guru O-N's laughter came, and you were even more angry at her reaction. Just when you were about to yell her name, Guru O-N restrained herself and said softly, I can hear that you are aggrieved. Wait a minute, I'll get it done for you soon. You suddenly heard a boy's voice beside her as if asking her whose phone call it was. The voice was very attractive, the kind that girls can resist the most. Who are you with? You asked, with a little angry tone. You were frustrated outside, but she was fine hooking up with other boys. Guru, I didn't know if she didn't hear it or didn't want to answer it, so she hung up the phone. Hello, Guru O-N, you yelled at the phone angrily. Su Jing-chun looked at you with concern. What's wrong, are you okay? You were a little depressed and replied, some people value women over friends. But less than a minute later, the security guard's phone rang. When he saw the caller ID, he was obviously startled. He answered the call respectfully and then looked at you in surprise. After hanging up the phone, his attitude changed 180 degrees, and he showed you a flattering smile. I'm really sorry. This is really a misunderstanding. It's my fault. You can go in. The principal is waiting for you. You were satisfied and walked in with your head raised. Su Jing-chun was full of doubts and followed you and asked, Who are you? Why did you send the principal? You laughed, raised a finger, shook it at her, and said mysteriously, This is a secret. I will tell you when you get familiar with me in the future. Su Jing-chun smiled lightly. Are you trying to flirt with me? I don't make friends casually. I know you are a top student, and top students are very picky about friends. You showed off your power and laughed happily, forgetting Guru O-N's emphasis on love over friendship. Why do you think I'm a top student? She looked at you curiously. You raised your eyebrows and smiled. Because I'm smart. By the way, the guard just said he recognized you. Are you famous in school? Yeah, I'm okay, she said softly, but did not elaborate and did not seem to want to show off. But you were not satisfied and asked hurriedly, Is it because you are the school belle? Or because you always get the first place in the whole school? I think it must be both, right? Su Jing-chun replied, How can I be considered a school belle? You looked at her in surprise. You are not considered a school belle. If you are not considered a school belle, wait. The school belle is not Guru O-N, right? Hearing you say this name, Su Jing-chun narrowed her eyes. Do you know her? You did not notice the change in her expression, but asked with great interest. She is very popular in school, right? I heard that she has many boyfriends. You are also a celebrity. Although you are in a different grade, you should know her, right? I know her, but I am not familiar with her. Su Jing-chun's voice was a little cold. She looked at you with a little scrutiny. By the way, do you like her too? You snorted. I had no interest in her at all. Really? Su Jing-chun was a little surprised. Just now, when she heard you mention Gu O-N, she thought you came for her too. But now I look at your eyes carefully, you don't have a crazy expression like other boys do. When they mention Guru O-N, you smiled and looked at Su Jing-chun and said, I don't like her type. If I have to choose, I think you are better than her. She's just relying on being rich and beautiful, and she is fierce to everyone. Whoever likes her will be unlucky. It was the first time that Su Jing-chun heard someone say this. She looked at you in surprise, as if you were an alien creature. When she saw you making a disgusted expression, she couldn't help but burst out laughing. You turned your eyes cunningly and took the opportunity to say, "By the way, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is John Xing Su Jing-chun," she said with a smile, and her attitude towards you became a little more intimate. You quickly tried to get close to her. "Which class are you in? I'm not familiar with the school. Can I ask you if I don't understand anything? In fact, your idea was very simple. You just wanted to make friends with her, a beautiful and smart academic master. And your biggest hobby was making friends, especially those who were capable and smart." Su Jing-chun nodded. "Sure, I'm in class 1, senior 3. You looked around the campus. It was completely deserted. No one was there. Everyone should have gone to class. So you said to her, 'Then I won't delay your class. I'll go to the principal's office to report. I'll find you when I'm free by.' After that, you hurried to the administrative building." Su Jing-chun looked at your back, and her cold eyes became a little warmer. "When you came to the principal's office, you met the principal. The principal was very attentive to you. When he saw you come in, he took out a drink to greet you and asked if you wanted to eat fruit. You sat on the sofa with your legs crossed, eating snacks and fruit. After a while, a woman came in, wearing black framed glasses, looking very serious. "Principal, what can I do for you?" The female teacher knocked on the door respectfully and walked in. The principal immediately put on airs and introduced her solemnly. "This is a new student, John Xing, who used to study in an aristocratic high school in the United States. His grades are very good, so I put him in class 1. You will take him to the class later. He will be the focus of our school's training in the future." How could the female teacher not understand the meaning of the principal's words? She said with a stiff head, "I understand." Then she took you away. The principal even saw you out the door in person, watching you leave with a smile. Soon you followed the female teacher to the door of the class, and saw the class written as grade 1. You were full of question marks on your face. "Am I not in grade 2? Teacher Wei explained, "Student Zhang, our progress in China is faster than that in foreign countries. If you go to grade 2, you may not be able to keep up with the progress. Okay then, you think about your academic performance and don't force it." However, you originally returned to China to study for fun, so it doesn't matter what grade you study. Teacher Wei brought you in, said to the students, "This is the new student Zhang Xingqi. Welcome everyone. Next, please let Zhang introduce himself." He stood next to the podium and smiled cheerfully to everyone. "Hello everyone, I'm Zhang Xingqi, male, female hobby. Please give me more advice in the future." During your introduction, the classmates laughed, and many people began to whisper, "This boy is so handsome. Yes, his skin is so white. Our status as the class flower is in jeopardy." What is Shendrai? He is not half as handsome as this boy. For a while, the girls in the class started to make a fuss, mumbling to you to sit next to them. You looked around with a smile, wanting to see if there were any beauties. You would choose to sit next to a beautiful woman. At least it would be pleasing to the eyes. Teacher Wei also said, "Zhang, you can sit with any classmate you want, as long as the other party is willing." As soon as the teacher said this, the girls present were immediately excited. You thought for a moment and asked, "Who is the prettiest girl in our class?" What you didn't expect was that everyone was stunned when they heard this, and then they all looked at a certain position, but their expressions were a little strange. You didn't bother to pay attention to what other people's expressions meant. And you followed the class's gaze and looked over, and found that it was the last seat in the row by the window, and both seats were empty. Could it be that the prettiest girl didn't come today? Of course you wanted to pick the prettiest one, so you walked over with a smile and sat down, and said to the teacher, "Teacher Wei, I'll sit here." Wei, the teacher's expression was a bit strange. and she said awkwardly, "Sit down if you like." She knocked on the podium with a ruler to quiet the students. "Okay, you should take care of the new students in the future, and everyone should be united and friendly. Do you understand? Let's continue the class." But who has the heart to listen to the class at this time? The girls are all peeking and the boys are looking at and comparing. The girl in the front seat turned around and smiled flatteringly. "John Xinky, you don't have a textbook yet. I'll lend you mine." As she said, she put a wrinkled textbook in front of you. You looked at the dirty textbook and you didn't know what it was stained with, so you could only laugh and say, "No, you can use it yourself. I'll just listen casually, it's okay." People are also kind-hearted. You can't lose face for them, so you can only smile awkwardly. As it turned out, this class was a foreign language class. You couldn't say anything about other subjects, but foreign languages were your absolute strong point. After all, you studied in the United States for a few years, so you felt like you were in elementary school. It was boring. You yawned and the girl in front of you came up again. "Yi-chen, you don't understand it either, or let's chat." "I can understand it, but it's too boring, so I don't want to listen." But this girl couldn't understand such a simple foreign language. You couldn't help but feel a little surprised and you became curious. You thought that class 1 should be the best class, so you couldn't help asking this girl, "What class is class 1? Is it the worst class? How are the classes divided?" "No, our class 1 is the best class." Your expression was a little uncontrollable, and you looked like you didn't believe her words. The girl scratched her head and said, embarrassedly, "Actually, it's like this. Class 1 either has the best grades or the richest, while the others are like ordinary classes. The worst ones are also in class 1. And there are many gangsters in it. Remember to pay attention to it in the future." You suddenly realized that this is the case. Suddenly, Ray felt that this girl was not bad, and she reminded you of this, so your attitude became better. Then you were also very rich. You don't look like a good student. The girl was a little embarrassed, and in order to save face, she explained, "I'm just not good at foreign languages. I'm very good at sports." You couldn't help laughing. Is it so proud for a girl to be good at sports? "John Xinty, I found that you are very poisonous. I was almost deceived by your appearance." Is this called poisonous tongue? You haven't seen the real poisonous tongue yet. By the way, my name is Xu Zhangyi. You can ask me for help in the future. Xu Zhangyi patted his chest and said, "You think she is quite pleasing to the eye. When you were looking for beauties on the podium just now, she was also one of the little beauties. I didn't expect that she was also very interesting." You were chatting with your head down and didn't notice that the teacher's face was getting darker and darker. "New student, translate the next paragraph." The teacher suddenly called your name. You didn't know it was you who was called, and you were still chatting with your head down until the girl across the aisle reached out and pushed you. "John Xinky, the teacher is calling you." You reacted, raised your head, and met the teacher's angry eyes. "Teacher, what can I do for you?" The teacher's face was very interesting, with blue and purple patches, and it was changing color. It seemed that she was very angry. "John Xinky, the second paragraph of the textbook, you translate it." You shrugged innocently. "But teacher, I don't have a textbook." "If you don't have it, ask a classmate to borrow it." Obviously, the teacher was angry, and it was not so easy to perfunctory. Chuzhongi looked at you with a bit of sympathy, handed you his textbook again, and whispered, "Just say whatever you want. He won't dare to do anything to you." But a confident smile rose on your lips. You picked up the textbook casually, turned to the designated text, and then spoke fluent English with a bit of beautiful Chinese accent, which was completely different from the teacher's Chinese English. It was so good that all the classmates were stunned. The teacher also looked at you in a daze, and his face became even uglier, as if he was humiliated. "Teacher, can I sit down?" you asked with a smile. The teacher's face turned pale and said reluctantly, "Sit down." Shuzong looked at you with admiration. Zhang Xinqi, you are so amazing. How come your English is so good? That spoken English is so beautiful. If I didn't look at your face, I would have thought it was a foreigner speaking. You blinked your eyes, pretending to be ignorant. Didn't I tell you? I came back from the United States, and I used to study in the best aristocratic high school in the United States. Ah! The eavesdropping classmates exclaimed together. After class you felt bored, so you wanted to find Guru Owen to see how happy she was. You walked to the teaching building of the second grade, and without thinking, you went directly to class 1. Based on the information Shuzong just gave you, you made such a judgment. Although you don't know how Guru Owen's grades are, you can see that she spends all day in bars, so her grades must not be very good. But the Gu family is a super rich family, and they are extremely rich. Needless to say, you know that she will definitely be in class 1. Besides, Guru Owen is so proud that she will never allow herself not to be in the best class. Soon you found the classroom of class 1, and you looked out the back door, and you saw Guru Owen. That guy is abominable. And there is actually a boy sitting next to him, and the two are talking and laughing. After all, I am now engaged to her, so it is normal to be jealous. I defended myself in my heart. I am not jealous because I like Guru Owen, but I am just jealous as her fiang. This guy is such a jerk. She knew that it was your first day at school and she didn't know anything. But she didn't come to you. Instead, she was busy flirting with other boys. You were so angry. You rolled your eyes and smiled wickedly. You were the first to be unkind. Don't blame me for being unfair. Just wait and see. You stepped back, returned to the stairs, grabbed a girl, smiled at her, and said softly in a low voice, "Classmate, can you help me go to class 1 to call Guru Owen and tell her that her husband is looking for her, thank you." The girl is a little bookworm wearing glasses. After hearing what you said, she nodded stupidly. "Okay, I'll go right away." You hid in the corner and peeked, and saw the little bookworm approaching class 1. As soon as she walked in, she said directly, "Guru-an, your husband is looking for you." The originally noisy classroom suddenly became quiet as if you could hear a pin drop. You can imagine that everyone's eyes were about to bulge out. You couldn't help but cover your mouth with laughter outside the door. A few seconds later, Guru-an came over with a dark face, with an expression of "It's you." She walked up to you and asked, "I knew it was you. You came here to make trouble on purpose, didn't you?" You crossed your arms and retorted, "Guru Oan, you only chatted with your male classmates and ignored me. Wait, when I return to Gu's house tonight, I will tell your mother everything I experienced at school today." Guru Oan sighed helplessly. "Master Zhang, what do you want?" You pointed to your cheek and smiled wickedly. "It's very simple. Come over now and kiss me on the face. Or let me kiss you, hurry up." Guru Owen narrowed her beautiful eyes. She didn't need to look back to know that many people ran out to peek. When she heard, "Her husband is looking for her," just now everyone around her was shocked and curious about what was going on. If she still makes intimate gestures to you at this time, it will confirm that you are her husband. "No, in public, you are a grown man and you're shameless. I still have face." She found an excuse to refuse. "You're furious? This guy actually didn't listen to you. Guru Rowan, you have changed. You were not like this before. You would never refuse me no matter what I asked you to do, but now you don't care about me for other boys. Great, so many years of relationship are over. In the past, when you asked Guru Owen to do something, although she often said no, she would do it according to your requests behind your back. So seeing Guru Owen like this now, you always feel a little uncomfortable, as if there is a stone blocking your heart. Okay, I won't force you now, whatever you want. You said coldly, turned around and was about to leave. Guru Owen's side came forward and hugged your waist, and then got into your arms. The pleasant fragrance penetrated your nose, and you subconsciously touched her head, which felt as good as before. After a long time, Guru Owen got out of your arms. Okay, I've hugged you. Go back to your class, I'll have lunch with you at noon. You acted like you'd abandon her after using her. No, I won't have lunch with you. I met a beautiful girl today. I'm going to have lunch with her later. Guru Owen narrowed her eyes and asked, Beautiful girl? The most beautiful person in the whole school is standing in front of you. You don't want to have lunch with me, but go to have lunch with other women? You smiled and deliberately said, I won't accompany you at noon. I'll favor you in the evening. Now I'm leaving. Guru Owen frowned, looking at your back as you left, as if thinking about something. At noon, you went to have lunch with Sujing-chan with great anticipation, and waited for a long time in front of the senior high school teaching building before you saw her walking out with a few girls, talking and laughing. You hurriedly greeted him with a smile. Sujing-chan, I'm here. Let's go eat together. Sujing-chan saw you. A hint of surprise flashed in her eyes, but she still smiled politely. Oh, it's you, John Nexinki. These are my friends. You nodded politely to the girls and then turned your eyes back to Sujing-chan. I know a restaurant that tastes very good. How about we go there to eat? One of the girls looked you up and down and said sarcastically, Hey, Sujing-chan, who is this? When did you meet this handsome boy? Why haven't you ever mentioned him? Sujing-chan was a little embarrassed and explained, I just met him this morning. He is a new transfer student. Another girl covered her mouth and chuckled, Huh? Didn't he come to chat with us deliberately because we saw that Muzi was pretty? You heard the hostility in their words, but you were not angry. You still smiled and said, I just want to make friends. Don't misunderstand me. Sujing-chan, if you don't want to, forget it. I don't want to cause you trouble. Sujing-chan saw you say that and hurriedly said, Don't listen to them, let's go. Then he turned to the girls and said, You go eat first, I'll go with him to see. The girls pouted and left reluctantly. You and Sujing-chan walked out of the school side by side. On the way, Sujing-chan said softly, I'm sorry my friends are like this, don't take it too hard. You smiled and shook your head. It's okay, I understand. By the way, what do you like to eat? When you arrived at the restaurant, you gentlemanly helped Sujin-chan pull out a chair and ordered a few signature dishes. During the meal, the two of you chatted happily from study to hobbies. You found that Sujin-chan was not only beautiful, but also very profound, and had her own unique insights on many things. You can't help but admire her more and more, thinking to yourself, it would be great if you could become good friends with her. After finishing the meal, you rushed to pay the bill, and then walked slowly back to school with Sujing-chan. Just as you were about to reach the school gate, you suddenly heard someone shouting, John X and Key. You turned around and saw that it was Guru Owen, who stood not far away with her arms folded across her chest, looking unhappy. When Sujing-chan saw Guru Owen, her face changed slightly, and a hint of complex emotions flashed in her eyes. Guru Owen walked a few steps in front of you two, looked at Sujing-chan, then looked at you, and said coldly, Okay, John X Sinki, is this the beautiful woman you mentioned? Your heart clicked, and you had an ominous premonition. What kind of tricks is Guru Owen going to do? Without waiting for your answer, Guru Owen looked at Sujing-chan again, and said with a smile, Sujing-chan, I didn't expect that. When did you like this style? Sujing-chan frowned, and said in a cold tone, Guru Owen, we are just having a meal together. Don't talk nonsense. Guru Owen sneered. Eat? John X Sinki, Don't forget your relationship with me. Stay away from certain people in the future. After saying that, she stretched out her hand and wanted to pull you away. You shook her hand off and said angrily, Guru Oan, what are you doing? It's my freedom to make friends with whomever I want. Why do you control me? Guru Oh, I didn't expect you to shake her hand off in front of Su Jingchun, and her face suddenly became ugly. Why should I? Just because we are about to get engaged and you are my fiancé, I have this right. Su Jingchun heard the word engagement, and a trace of surprise and loss flashed in her eyes. She glanced at you and said softly, Zhang Xinqi, it turns out that you are already engaged, then I'll leave first. After that, without waiting for your explanation, she walked quickly into the school. You looked at Su Jingchun's back as she left, then turned to look at Guru Oan, and you were furious. Guru Oan, you're going too far. Why did you make things like this? Guru Owen also felt that she was a little impulsive just now, but she still said stubbornly, I'm doing this for your own good. Su Jingchun. Anyway, you should stay away from her. You didn't want to argue with her anymore. So you turned around and walked towards the school. Guru Owen called you from behind, but you ignored her. In the evening, you and Guru Owen returned to Gu's house together. As soon as you entered the door, you saw Guru Owen's parents and grandfather sitting in the living room with serious expressions. When Guru Owen's grandfather saw you guys coming back, he cleared his throat and said, Come here, sit down. I called you back today because I want to talk to you about the engagement. Guru Owen said anxiously, Grandpa, I don't agree to the engagement. I don't want to get engaged so early. Grandpa's face darkened, and this is not something you can decide. Our Gu family and the Zhang family are old friends, and your engagement has been set a long time ago. This is for the benefit of the family and for your own good. You sat aside, feeling a little helpless. This sudden engagement made you a little overwhelmed. Guru Owen looked at you, then at Grandpa. Her eyes reddened a little. But Grandpa interrupted her. Okay, don't say anything more. Settle. The engagement ceremony will be held on the 15th of next month. During this time, you two should get along well and cultivate your feelings. After that, Grandpa stood up, put his hands behind his back and walked into the study. Guru Owen's parents also stood up, comforted Guru Owen a few words, and then went back to their rooms. Only you and Guru Owen and were left in the living room, and the atmosphere was a little awkward. Guru Owen suddenly looked at you with tears in her eyes, and said aggrievedly, Zhang Xinqi, what should I do? I really don't want to get engaged. I don't want to be tied down so early. You looked at her like this, and suddenly felt a little distressed, reaching out to gently wipe away the tears from the corners of her eyes. It's okay, Han, since Grandpa has made up his mind, there is nothing we can do. However, engagement doesn't mean anything. We can still do what we want. Guru Owen looked up at you, her eyes full of trust. Really? You won't lie to me, right? You nodded. Well, I won't lie to you. Let's just treat this as a game, and after a while, maybe Grandpa will change his mind. However, what you don't know is that in the dark of the Gu family, a pair of eyes are coldly watching you, and a conspiracy against you and Guru Owen is quietly unfolding. Who is this mysterious man? What ulterior motives does he have? Can you and Guru Owen see through this conspiracy and successfully resolve the crisis? Everything is still unknown.